A canvas changes hands for $500 million, and nobody involved actually cares what it looks like. The art auction world operates on a principle most industries abandoned centuries ago. The object itself is almost irrelevant. What matters is the story attached to it. In May 2015, a Salvator Mundi attributed to Leonardo da Vinci sold for $450 million. That price tag wasn't about brushwork or technique. It was about provenance, the documented chain of ownership stretching backward through time. Provenance creates scarcity even when the object itself is reproducible. A photograph of the Salvator Mundi exists everywhere, but the original, there's only one, and if it once hung in a royal collection or survived centuries of warfare or disappeared for decades before resurfacing, that narrative becomes inseparable from the price. Museums pay premiums not just for art, but for historical legitimacy. But provenance alone doesn't explain record prices. Speculation does. The art market functions partly as an alternative investment vehicle for wealth. When stock markets plateau or currencies weaken, capital flows elsewhere. Art becomes a store of value, one that appreciates, requires no yield, and carries cultural prestige. A collector purchasing a major work isn't only acquiring beauty, they're acquiring an asset. The speculation cycle self-reinforces. As prices rise, media attention intensifies. Museums and wealthy collectors compete for the same finite pool of authenticated works. Auction houses strategically time sales to maximize bidder attendance. They market pieces as once in a generation. That language isn't accidental, it manufactures urgency and inflates demand. Scarcity, real or perceived, underpins the entire system. Only a finite number of authenticated works by major artists exist. New discoveries are rare. When a previously unknown painting surfaces, it enters a market where supply is fixed, but demand is global. Wealth has grown exponentially across Asia, the Middle East, and emerging economies. That wealth seeks status markers. Art provides them. The mechanics are transparent yet counterintuitive. A work's value compounds when institutions validate it. A museum acquisition signals legitimacy. That legitimacy attracts further investment. The next owner pays more. Museums and collectors drive each other upward in a cycle that has little to do with aesthetic merit and everything to do with market mechanics and historical narrative. Understanding this structure reveals why certain artworks command astronomical prices, while others, equally skilled, remain obscure. It's about documented history, perceived scarcity, and capital seeking alternative stores of value. The art market isn't primarily about art. It's about how wealth circulates through objects that hold cultural weight and documented legitimacy. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for weekly explorations of how fortunes are built, spent, and preserved through the mechanics of luxury and scarcity. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.